welcome back to another episode of Gridiron Guys. Brad is back. I am your host, Luke, with Big Jim.
Howdy.
And Bradley.
Good to be back.
I don't know. Is it good to be back?
It's been a rough gambling year, for sure.
Especially on the podcast. I feel like Brad needs to start hitting some big bets on this.
My normal bets have actually. I've been doing good overall this year. I just got killed on the podcast bets.
Yeah, you have been getting killed.
However, my backup is that the public is way up this year and the sharps are way down. Yeah. I don't know how much of my logic is like I have the right logic and it's been a real weird season. That's kind of what I'm going with.
No, for sure. Guys, like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss any of our content. We're gonna start with college. Gonna go through our college records real quick. I'm 27-18. Nate is 23-19, and Brad is 11-14. Brad, please, for the love of God, pick four games that you can at least hit 500 above. Your goal this week is to be 15-15 or 15-14 this week.
Look, it's all like
that is your goal.
A couple of those hits were like plus money lines, so I feel like I'm probably up money on the year there, but NFL definitely not. But college, I'm probably up money, but
yeah. But let's get into it. First game of the week. Well, not first game of the week, but one of the biggest ones. Oregon State is favored by 1, over under 62.5.
Oregon State's favored by 1.
It's at Oregon State. Yes. So that might be why. Oregon State riding high. DJ is playing well. But I also think that 1.5 is a steal for Washington. I just think they're the better team. Maybe some crazy shit happens in Corvallis, but I think with Washington, I think this is a spot where Washington probably puts their foot down and wins. So I don't know. I've been pretty right, except for last week with Washington minus them 9.5. But I got to pick on this game. Nate, what are your thoughts?
It's in Corvallis at Oregon State,
and it's at night.
It's almost a top 10 matchup. We could call it a top 10 matchup because State's good here.
Yeah,
they're no short on quarterback here. It might be a great quarterback play. You might see a lot of points. You might see a lot of offense. If it is like a runaway game, like it's going to end up in the 50s somehow, give me Washington. But if Oregon State can somehow like dismantle that offense of Washington, like disrupt it, I could see an upset here. I really can. I mean, Corvallis, brand new stadium. Their team is hot this year. Great coach.
Yeah.
Them Beavers are going to be riding high, man. They're going to be looking to cut down some trees and everything. And I don't know. Them Huskies might be in trouble. They might be in trouble.
Brad?
So I think it's going to be I was shocked to see the 1.5 number for Oregon State, but I did not feel comfortable either way because I feel like if I didn't see that, I think Oregon State was like the live home dog. They still have a lot to play for. They still have a shot to get to the championship. They're like crazy good at home. I think I saw something today, like 16-1 since 2021.
That's crazy.
A crazy good home team. It just felt like a massive stay away game that I will watch like every minute of, it's going to be a fun one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Going from one big matchup to another, Georgia at Tennessee. Georgia is favored by 10, over under 58.5. I feel like this is a classic beatdown. This has like all of the like, this is another big game. Like, so far, just taking care of Missouri, who we thought was going to give them a fight. They fought again. They beat down on Ole Miss, who gave them a fight. And now it's like, is Tennessee? They're playing on the road. This is their first real road test. I like Georgia here, though. I really do. Yeah. Like, I just don't see them coasting. I feel like they are going to be hitting their high. And that game against Alabama in the SEC championship in 2 weeks is going to be absolutely wild.
Yeah, I like Georgia in this game too. Big. I know it's at Tennessee. I know it's at Neyland Stadium, but I feel like Tennessee fans right now see the big picture on the wall. Like, yeah, it's top dogs coming in the country. They're probably Neyland's not going to be a factor in this game. Georgia's going to roll this game. Yeah, I think they win by at least 14 here. So.
Yeah.
I'm with both of you. I'm not seeing a particular route for Tennessee to win this football game. I don't think Joe Milton's good enough to beat that Georgia defense. Georgia has beat them 5 or 6 times straight, six
Yeah,
straight times. Then by a lot, almost all of them. So I don't see any path for Tennessee this week.
Yeah, it's more or less just looking like a complete ass kicking. One game that me and Nate are going to be really locked into before the Husker game is Illinois at Iowa. Over under is 30.5. Iowa is favored by 3.
Luke's taking the under.
You already
Dude,
know.
like literally. And they lost Cooper DeGen, who's their best
I
corner,
know.
and kick
That's
return,
terrible.
and punt returner. And that's not a good spot for them. But
No.
if I feel like Illinois might be the play here, boys. I feel like Illinois might be the play here. And obviously the under is always the play. Like it's always the play. But like Big Ten West is a shit show. It is a
It's such a disaster. It is so crazy.
There are 5 teams tied for second place at 3 and 4. Like it's like almost nobody wants it. It's like, oh wait, here. I don't want it. But we'll see. It's at home for Iowa, but I think Illinois has a chance to play spoiler, and I like it. I like it a lot. Jim?
You want to see a classic old school Big Ten game? They run the ball maybe 30 times each. They pass the ball a grand total of 5 times. Watch this Iowa-Illinois game. It's going to be a slugfest. Illinois is going to win 7-3. They're going to keep Husker season alive. Yeah, so that's all.
Brad.
Yeah, you guys nailed it on the head. This seems like basically the Army-Navy game, but for
Big Ten.
The Big Ten. Like there's just gonna be no points. I don't think I'll watch a minute of this game.
No.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's a great Iowa defense. I'm intrigued to see just how good they are. I wonder if they, maybe get like 2 pick sixes or something crazy. Like I feel like that's the score might end up being higher because Iowa's defense is just so damn good.
I hope
so we'll see. Yeah.
The under. Anyway.
The
under by a mile. And our second to last game, Utah at Arizona. Arizona is favored by 1. Over under is 46.5 in Tucson, Arizona. Arizona. Utah in a spot where they're +1, I feel like is a steal. Again, what Washington and Utah getting +1 on the road, I feel like that's a steal. I feel like that's a steal. And I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid, but I feel really good about this spot, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I like Utah to play like a little, clock tower. The clock strikes midnight on Arizona on the Cinderella story they're having of the year. They're having a great year. They got a great young quarterback. I feel like the news kept coming out that they're $240 million in debt.
Oh yeah, that's.
I feel like that's like in the back of people's mind. The coaches, the ADs, maybe even the players. Arizona won't necessarily be as focused, and I feel like when you play Utah, you're going to get Utah.
Exactly.
Just bloody knuckles and play solid ass defense and have a solid ass running game. So I like Utah in this situation here.
Brad,
I'm actually I was our big Utah fan. I'm ejected from Utah. They killed me multiple times in a row after starting the season off so hot. I actually really like the spot for Arizona. The biggest worry is obviously that young quarterback, Fafita, going against Kyle Whittingham defense. That's scary. But he's looked really, really good. And Utah has kind of fallen back. You can see they're now really missing Cam Rising. So I'm intrigued to see what this Arizona team does. I mean, they've been one of the biggest differences from their opening season market. I think they're like 6.5 wins.
Yeah.
And they already passed it. So
yeah, they are a surprise team that I would not want to see in a bowl game. To be honest with you.
Not at all.
And the final game that we're going to talk about, we're going to spend a little bit more time on this game because obviously 2 of us really give a shit about this game. I feel like wait, hold on. I should take that back. I feel like Brad's invested a little bit.
I am invested because of you guys. I also I've always enjoyed watching Wisconsin. Weirdly, they just kind of constantly were on national TV. Yeah.
Brad remembers watching Melvin Gordon run for like 486 yards.
Monte Ball just wrecking people for years.
Yeah,
if weirdly, they always end up on TV. They always end up on a midday New Year's Day bowl.
They do.
Watching it, like early in the day. It's like, oh, this is kind of fun. Feels right that Wisconsin playing today. So watched a lot of Wisconsin football somehow.
Yeah. 6:30 kickoff for us. It's gonna be on NBC. Second televised night game. Glad that we're getting a night game, the second to last game of the year. I think it's about time because I think Nebraska is kind of a surprise this year, even though we've actually it's not a surprise with all the turnovers, but who gives a fuck right now? The spread is -5.5. I thought it was 4.5. Now it's
4.5 earlier. There must have been money. It was 4.5. It's like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Braylon Allen playing now or what?
Apparently. -5.5.
He is?
I think so. But all right. Okay. No. Let's not start freaking out here. Our defensive line is really our defensive line can handle that. Come on now. We don't have the 15th the second best defensive rush team in the nation. Come on now. Have a little bit of faith. Wisconsin's favored by 5.5. Over under 36.5. It's at Wisconsin. I love the environment. I love the fact that it's the winner gets bowl eligibility, just like it was last week. I like that the line is going towards Wisconsin. I truly do. I really like. I really like
the favorite in games though.
Same again. Like it's been a real nightmare. So we don't know who the quarterback who's playing. So I feel like that could also be the line. Rule said that they'll have 4 quarterbacks travel.
Mm-hmm.
Sims, Chuba, and Harburg, and a walk-on freshman. So I think that might be another play. But I do think Nebraska shows up. They've played, besides the Michigan game, like they've outplayed a lot of teams that have been either equal or better than us, minus Maryland last. And here's the other thing is that you
should have won that game.
No, we should have. Yeah, we don't have 5 turnovers. We win that game by 2 touchdowns. And there's no arguing there. If we just run the ball, Brad, don't get me started.
I watched the end of the game. I was very unhappy with the state of my bet for the last.
Yeah. Trust me, I was not very happy with you either. So we'll just leave it at that.
Not good.
I think this game is going to come down to who has the better offense and defensive line, and I think Nebraska's offense and defensive line have been playing better up until this point than Wisconsin has. And I like the spot that we're at right now. I like being plus 5.5. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I like being the underdog. Like I just said earlier, I'm with you on our rush defense being able to stop Braylon Allen if he does play. They're gonna have to bring their A game because that dude's a man. That dude is a freaking baller.
But so is Nash.
My thing is I've been kind of watching Wisconsin the last couple of weeks, and their season has not gone the way they expect at Wisconsin. So what did that do to that program? All the fans stay until jump around, and then that whole stadium is a ghost town. Like their last 2 home games has been empty in the fourth quarter. Now I understand they lost last week at home. That's a boring ass game. A lot of fans probably were like, let's go pound some Busch lattes and everything. But it's just, I feel like Nebraska travels well. Nebraska's going to take over that Camp Randall Stadium, and it's going to be treated as a home game for Nebraska. There's going to be a lot of red only because Wisconsin and Nebraska both wear red. It's going to be all red to see a red. 2.0. 2.0. And for that reason, Nebraska is going to win late in the fourth quarter. Tristan Alvano hits a 45-yard field goal to win it, and we're bowl eligible, and we are sitting high on our Big Ten West championship.
Yep.
Bradley.
Yep.
that number moving to 5.5 for you guys is now intriguing. The 4.5 seems close at Camp Randall at night, but that's an interesting move. I mean, that must mean a ton of money is coming in towards Wisconsin, I would assume.
No, yeah,
that's what I think that number probably moved because people are nailing the 4.5 minus 4.5. So it's gonna be. I mean, night at Camp Randall, throw the records out a little bit, see what happens. It'll be an interesting game for both teams.
I feel like if Nebraska is able to run, and I feel like if Nebraska rushes for 200 yards, they win the game. I feel like
that seems correlated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's been that way for 10 years. When Nebraska rushes for over 200 yards, they win the game.
Yeah, it's simple math, simple game plan. It's just keep it simple for your quarterbacks that are struggling right now. Keep it simple.
Agreed.
Mr. Fetty told us, Luke, you remember him.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep. What's KISS stand for? Keep it simple, stupid. And that's what
sadly
we need.
Matt Rule's your coach.
Yeah.
Whoa! Whoa!
I feel like our players are also pretty pumped the up because the shit they've been hearing, they've been creating their own blood
narrative.
work.
They've been taking a page out of Dion's book. They're taking it personal.
It's personal, boy. It's personal.
And I will not. I will not take Matt. I will not take any Matt. I will not take Matt Rule slander, you sir. Brad.
Scott Frost 2.0.
Gee, this bullshit.
That was uncalled for.
That was
uncalled for.
That is fighting words, Brad.
We're just going to start the fire. I have to sow discourse in this podcast.
Everything has been going so great up until now. Every Thursday, I'm so glad to see Brad. And then Brad goes after my team, and now it's just like, you, Brad. Anyway.
Bitter over here right now. It's just
by the way, I told you not to take them, and you took them. I warned you.
You told me not to.
And then I took them.
Yeah, I'm betting on
We're
no
both dummies.
Anymore.
I'm out of this. Dummies.
I'm out of that.
We're both dummies. All right. Okay. Speaking of picks, Bradley, you're up first.
Okay. So for college football, we've had to do some reevaluation on the system. The system is leaking oil. However, we've decided that Main Street college football is too easy. That's definitely been the case. First pick, we're going Old Dominion +6 over at Georgia Southern. If you look at the schedules, Old Dominion's had a pretty tough schedule. These teams have equal matchups. It's not like Georgia Southern's got a huge home field advantage, and Old Dominion's much stronger strength schedule than Georgia Southern. I'll take 6 points for an ODU team that I think could probably beat Georgia Southern. So I'll take +6 to ODU. We'll go a little off the board on the first two picks. Don't worry.
Maybe that'll work. All right, Jim.
That's the move.
All right, first pick I got Luke. You better just coattail off of this because I'm going with Illinois versus Iowa. Illinois is going to win that game. It's -3 in Iowa's favor. Illinois is going to win that.
Are you taking them? Are you taking? Okay, all right. Hold on. Are you taking the money line?
I'm taking them to win.
You're taking the money line. All right,
yes,
cool.
sir. Yes,
right.
sir.
All right.
7-3 is the game.
I love that.
All right, money line. I'm gonna take, like I said earlier, Washington +1.5. I think is absolutely a steal here. Them being plus money, it's interesting, but I also really love it because Washington is my pick to come out of the Pac-12. And I think they might even win the national championship this year. They're that good. Their offense is stout. Granted, they still got to make it there, but I like Washington +1.5. Bradley.
Our second pick, we are also going a little outside the box. We're going SMU -8 over Memphis. Another line I look at, and I'm like, SMU is a legitimate football team that gets 5-star recruits, and Memphis is a basketball school. SMU's looked great all year.
Memphis has had some good players though come out in football.
They've had some good players, but most of them played a different sport.
That's fair.
And so SMU's got some X5 stars, some transfers.
Mm-hmm.
They're a really solid overall ball club, well coached, and I mean they're moving conferences next year. They feel like was it Tulane last year? The kind of end of the year came on hot. They had some early season losses, but looked really good. It ended up being an okay bowl. I get granted they're in the same conference, but I get definitely Tulane vibes from SMU. So we'll take them -8 at Memphis.
There we go. Nate?
My second pick, I'm going to go to Louisville versus Miami. I have Louisville at favored 1. I'm taking Jeff Brom. That dude is gonna be in that ACC championship to play Florida State. I like Louisville in this situation. They're gonna get a pep-up game against Miami, and Miami's not gonna do a thing but try to go for it on 4th down with a second left or something. Luke,
Don't hate that. I'm taking Utah +1. Again, same logic as Washington. I think that's fool's money. I'm taking that. I will fall for the bait. I don't care. I will take it. Brad?
Yeah. For the third pick, we're going to take Georgia over Tennessee -10.5. We kind of all touched on this earlier. Tennessee doesn't feel like they have a chance in this game, even though it's home. Georgia just kind of beat everybody badly. I'll take -10.5 there. I feel like they cover that easily. It's like a 51-17 game or something. Like, it does not look pretty.
Yeah, for my third pick, I'm going to go with Rutgers versus Penn State.
Ooh.
Y'all know how I feel about James Franklin. I feel like he's a fraud. Penn State's favored -20 here.
Okay.
I'm taking the Rutgers.
It's not a bad pick.
With that plus points there, Luke. Is that right?
Plus money.
Yep,
Yep.
plus money there.
Plus points.
All right. Go ahead.
I am going to take Michigan minus. It was 18.5 at the time. It's now 19. I will take them even at 19 because I think Michigan is probably going to dominate this game. Yes, they're playing Maryland. Maryland beat us, but
those are fighting words, Brad.
I'm shocked Maryland beat you guys.
Exactly.
I really am. Like, Maryland only plays well against like good teams. It's weird. They normally shit the bed for most of the year past the first 5 games. Can't wrap my head around it.
They're gonna get their shit kicked in. So I'm taking Michigan -19.
Good pick.
Brad.
Safe pick. Okay. Solid pick.
So I got in early on this pick, and the line is now flipped. So I feel even better. I got Zona at +1.5 in that Utah game. So I got them at plus money before that line switched to a minus. And the juice was the normal. It was a normal vig. So Zona +1.5. I like that way more than that -1.5 because I think it could be a close game. I feel like it could come down to like a final play, and it could be a 1-point game. And I'll take 1.5 just to cover me. I feel much better about that. I don't think I'd take them -1. I feel a lot better about the plus.
Yeah, that's why I took Utah +1.
I would much rather take Utah +1 than Arizona -1 right now, but I like Zona +1.5. That feels a little bit better.
Yeah, I got you down for Arizona +1.5. Nate,
fourth pick is gonna be exact same with you guys. I'm going with Utah over Arizona. I just feel like Utah is a safe bet.
It's boys' game of the week.
Simple as that.
Apparently.
Boys' game of the week.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be any.
Let's go, Luke.
Shouldn't be any idea of which
yet.
one. Under Iowa, Illinois, 30.5. Just keep rolling. No explanation. 30.5. They won't even hit 20. I bet if you made it a 21.5 point spread, they wouldn't make it. Come on. This team has no offense. It's gonna be a 9-7 game. People are gonna be pissed drunk in Kinnick. It's gonna be funny. All right, Brad.
It's gonna be great.
My final pick, my fifth pick, in-state rivalry time. This would be a great basketball matchup, but this year it's not a half-bad football matchup. It's Kansas State at Kansas. This game's pretty cool. Like, both teams not normally good at football, and now they're good at football. I forget the name of this rivalry. Some to do with flowers. I can't remember.
Sunflower Showdown.
Sunflower Showdown. That's it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
God, that's a lame name.
I think so. It's lame.
You're a lame name. You have a lame name.
But they were two real solid teams this year. Great Kansas State offense. Great Kansas offense. Not very good defenses on either side. Both teams don't have great corners, but they're run-heavy teams in a sense as well. And the over-under on this game, I got it earlier today at over 56.5. It's already moved to 57.5 since then. So that number's going up. I like them going over in this game. It's good offenses, bad defenses, in-state rivalry. They're going to try to score big. It'll be a fun matchup. Yeah.
All right, Jim.
Luke.
Yep.
Just go before me because I want to see if you're going to pick this game. All right. I'm not going to change my pick. I just want to
Okay.
see if you're going
All
to
right.
pick it. It's
Nebraska
all
plus 5.5.
Oh, fuck. That wasn't the game. That wasn't the
Nebraska
game.
plus 5.5.
I love it. I love it.
Ride for your dogs, man.
Ride for my dogs. Oh, wait! I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is.
All right.
Oh shit, I was excited.
So this is the game I thought Lucas was gonna pick: Gators versus Missouri.
Yeah!
Woo! Oh, that's a good matchup this weekend. That's a fun one.
I really wanted
Missouri,
to pick. Sorry.
Missouri, for the longest time, probably since they joined the SEC, has always given the Florida Gators fits and sometimes even beats them. This year, Missouri's the top dog in this game. They're favored by 11.
And they're home. Damn.
And they're home. I really wanted to go to this game. I really wanted to go to this game. I'm picking the Gators, man.
Oh,
Dude, Mertz has played phenomenal this year.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. He has 19 touchdowns, 2 picks, and has averaged at least 275 a game pass. Their running game has been short-lived, and some games it's been unbelievable. If we could dish out a great passing game and a great running game and somehow slow them down on offense, maybe 1 or 2 drives, and then capitalize on that, the Florida Gators will win this game. I can't pick
No.
Give me
Oh man, yeah. I got for my last pick, Nebraska Huskers plus 5.5. I like 5.5 a lot. I really hope they win. But if they don't, I hope they just lose close. Not by 7, but by 3. And I think that's probably more likely. Oh my god. Anyway. Brad, your picks.
My picks, we had Old Dominion plus 6 over Georgia Southern. Go Taylor Heineke. SMU minus 8 over Memphis. We had UGA minus 10.5 over Tennessee. We had Zona plus 1.5 over Utah. And then we had Kansas State, Kansas over 56.5.
Nate.
Illinois. It's gonna win plus 3. Right?
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
So
Gators plus 11.
Got it.
Louisville. It's gonna win because it's minus 1.
Money line. Okay.
Rutgers plus 20 at Penn State.
I'll give you 20.5 because that's what it's at right now.
Whatever. God, you're everything up. Utah versus Arizona. I got Utah.
Money line. Got it. Okay.
Your money line.
This is gonna be a nightmare. I have watched.
I'm going 5-0. I'm going 5-0. And your ass is gonna be like, you only went 4 because you said money line. No bullshit.
No, well, that's the rules though. I'm just warning you.
Suck my rules.
All right, well, I've got Washington plus 1.5, Utah plus 1, Michigan minus 19, over under Iowa, Illinois 30.5, and Nebraska plus 5.5. Now it's time for NFL Slate. All right, first game, Chargers at Packers. It was originally, when I was doing this, it was originally Steelers-Browns, and then I realized that Deshaun Watson was out, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that game. That game kind of sucked.
Yeah, we don't need
top 4 team in the AFC, right?
Chargers at Packers. Chargers are favored minus 3 at Lambeau. Over-under is 43.5. God, this game sucks as well.
Ugh,
it's like 2 ugly teams that have just not played well. Jordan Love has not lived up to the hype. Herbert in the well, you can't really blame Herbert. He's putting up points. That defense is just awful.
So bad.
So it's like, whose defense is going to show up for their offense to get them, put them in good points?
Did you hear the big rumor today, though? Belichick.
Yeah.
Belichick to the Chargers.
For the Chargers.
Yeah.
Hopefully not my Commanders. I do not want him. But
no, yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about.
So the Chargers actually makes a ton of sense. Get him on the West Coast. He loves the beach. He loves to be out in the water. And then, like, that makes a ton of sense because that
he likes one-night stands too, Brad.
You keep Kellen Moore, get good offensive coordinator, let him cook, and then you have Belichick coach the defense. That makes a ton of sense to me. But
yeah, agreed.
This game feels gross, and like the Chargers are the better team, but Lambeau cold -3 doesn't seem favorable at all. Green Bay starts slow, but Matt LaFleur, I honestly do think it's a good coach, and I think he'll start to figure out how to coach Jordan Love properly. Jordan Love's great at hitting every receiver not named Christian Watson. He has like the worst passer rating in the NFL of Christian Watson, like of any like wide receiver quarterback duo. But all his other receivers, he has great ratings with. It's really odd. It seems like a miscommunication between the two of them on how they're running routes, how they're getting the ball out. So I'm intrigued to see if LaFleur can turn them around a little bit. This game I almost bet on it with the Packers +3 because I think they may being at home. I think they'll keep it close, but them being at home, LaFleur's a good coach, better than Brandon Staley. I feel like they keep it close. I don't know if they win it, but I feel like it's probably closer. That 3 number seems correct. I feel like it's a 3-point game, even though it probably should be more if the Chargers were competently coached.
Yeah. Jim?
This is a game if the Chargers do end up losing, this will be Staley's last ever coaching in the NFL.
My best bets of the week is the Chargers to win or Brandon Staley get fired.
I really don't. I mean, Jesus, you look at the game, you look at who the Chargers have and who the Packers have. Chargers dog walk the Packers, but knows what they can bring right now. And it's at Lambeau. It's going to be chilly out. You know, Lambeau's got Lambeau magic there. It's the witchcraft there and shit. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Packers win. Luke?
Chargers, Packers is better than Steelers, Browns.
Oh, definitely Browns.
We are heading to Landover, Maryland.
Hell yeah.
Giants at Washington. Washington is now favored by 9. Over under 37.5. Brad, take this one.
That's way too many points for this team. We are a much better football team than the Tommy DeVito quarterback Giants. I have no faith that we will win because the Giants just weirdly like kick our ass even when Washington's good and they're bad. They beat us earlier this year at Meadowlands Stadium that was empty. Washington, we're really finding it on offense. 100% that offense has gotten figured out. The enemy kind of realized that he needs to have Sam get the ball out quick. But even last week, the protection scheme's been better. The offensive line shakeups have helped. They're keeping running backs into chip. They're keeping tight ends into chip. Bates has played more, which is our blocking tight end. The offense has really figured it out. It's a very fun. It's the first time since Kirk Cousins left town that I felt like we had an actual NFL offense. And they spread the ball. I know there's a lot of fantasy frustration with Jahan Dotson and Terry and the other guys.
Agreed.
But they give everybody targets. That's kind of the problem. And the one thing this coaching staff is good about is riding the hot hand. If someone's catching a bunch of balls, if someone's making a ton of rushes like Brian Robinson last week, they just keep feeding them. So I don't like – I have a bet on this game, but it's not the spread. I don't think we'll be close because the defense is really terrible. The loss of Montez Sweat and Chase Young were evident last week. Our pressure rate was pretty awful. And Forbes, our rookie corner, getting removed from the game early on one of the worst ejection calls I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
100% a penalty. 100% a penalty. Should have been a penalty no matter what. Forbes is like terrified to tackle people and a rookie and has no history of hitting anybody. It's been his biggest issue this year. And they eject him right off the top after a really good game. So, and we had a chance to beat Seattle. It's going to be a Washington win, but I don't feel comfortable taking a number on it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. We're going to Nate's game. Titans at Jags. Jacksonville is favored by 7. Over under 39.5. Jim, bounce back win.
It's going to be a bounce back win here. The Titans had a couple of things happen to them the last 2 weeks with Will Levis getting the start and a nod. Mm-hmm. And the Titans fans think like, oh, we found our guy. Nah, dude. I mean, he may be your guy in the future, but you're still dog shit. You got Derek Walker. Sorry, thinking the Husker basketball. You got Derrick Henry just wasting away his last couple of years sitting at these ass Titans. I feel like Jags kind of come into this game pissed off. Hopefully they come in pissed off and get back and start to look like a top team in the AFC because Trevor Lawrence, you got to start playing better. Start throwing the goddamn ball. But yeah,
we
give me the
have
Jags.
to have a Trevor Lawrence conversation soon. It's
might have
weird.
to. I was pissed off last week. He has less touchdowns than goddamn Justin Fields, and Justin Fields hasn't played in 4 weeks.
It's weird. It feels like he should be better, and it feels like he's on the right coaching staff to be better. I can't wrap my head around it because it doesn't look bad. when he plays, right? It's just like, oh, that pass was
Well, it's just like it's
weird.
he has some damn good like passes,
Yeah.
and he marches down the field. But when we get, it's not the play calling; he's just not making them passes.
No.
When we get
it's not
inside the
making
20,
the play, right?
it's just like, oh my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I think this is a bounce back game for the Jags for sure.
Yeah,
I do like Jacksonville here. I think they're going to put their foot on the Titans' throat and let them know about it, and kind of back to winning.
Bully him. Gonna bully him.
Now to Sunday night, yeah. Vikings at Broncos. Yeah, Denver minus 2.5, 42.5. Vikings, I feel like the Broncos have won 3 straight in a row. They're looking better, but the Vikings are so much of a better team right now. I think they have the advantage coming into the game. Josh Dobbs is playing out of his mind. And I don't think JJ's coming back this week, right, Jim? No JJ?
No,
doesn't sound like he's gonna come.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it from today. I think he practiced.
It almost seems like he'll be flirting with that 1-day window. Like if he goes if he's not active by then, he has to go back on that IR.
And that's the rest of the season,
four more weeks.
Yeah,
it's the rest of the season or 4 more weeks, which is whatever,
Yeah,
and that's not going to be good.
But I do like
your boy squeaking wins out. Your boy squeaking wins out, but he would help. He would fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like the Vikings in this spot, but I do have a pick here. Brad?
Oh shit!
This game is way more interesting than it probably should be. Because if you looked at this matchup 3 weeks ago, you're like, this is terrible. I don't want to watch this game. But now it's kind of fun, and Josh Dobbs is interesting and exciting, and Jordan Addison's a great watch. And that Denver team, I mean, they did not look great on offense against the Bills. The Bills turned it over so many times they barely squeaked out a win. But at the same time, I mean, Russ didn't look bad anymore. He looked back to almost normal Russ, which is cool. That's fun to see again. But I have a pick on this game, but it's not on the teams. Because I think it's actually probably going to end up being close. The 2.5 feels where this game's going to fall somewhere in that line, that little Vegas zone area. Which I mean, basically, they're saying this is an even matchup on neutral field, which probably correct.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. And to the best game of the week, Monday Night Football, Eagles at Chiefs. Chiefs are favored minus 2.5. This has been marked down on the calendar for the best game of the year. Obviously, with all the Taylor Swift, all her family's coming. The Kelseys are all gonna be there. Whatever. I'm just really excited to see these two teams play, especially in Arrowhead, especially since this is probably going to be Jason's last game in Arrowhead, playing against Travis, unless they play again in the Super Bowl, which is, I'm hoping, because I have a plus 900 bet on that.
Ooh.
I think after a bye week, there's really no advantage. Really, both teams are coming off a bye. Even though I think the Chiefs have a really good chance of winning it, just because Andy's incredible off a bye. He's incredible off a bye, and I think that kind of matters. Hopefully, they start handing Isaiah Pacheco the ball and using that run game to set up the pass game and kind of help out the wide receivers a little bit. I have a pick on this game as well, so I'm not gonna. It's probably obvious, but I think this is gonna live up to the hype. And by the way, Colin Cowherd making a prediction of 34-6 Eagles.
Whoa!
Kiss my ass, old man. Kiss my ass.
Better tag him.
Cowherd thinks he knows everything.
Come at him.
Tag his ass.
Anyway, Nate, your thoughts?
Yeah. I hope for a good game. Good, clean fun. It's this battle of the best Cheeto, puff Cheeto or crunchy Cheeto. I'm all for the crunchy Cheeto over the puffs, so I'm going to have to, I got to pick on this game too. I got to pick, Luke. What do you want me to do? You just you just said all my points, man.
This is obviously game of the week. Super exciting to have good night games. That's always nice. Great Monday nighter. This is going to be such a fun game to watch. It is kind of two teams that have very similar styles of football, right? They play pretty similar offenses, and then they have solid defenses. And I think, the thing that it was tugging me back and forth in this game is Philly's ability at the push. and basically having an extra play anytime they're inside the 50. It's like, okay, what does that mean for these teams? Because Kansas City has been a little inefficient on offense. But coming off a bye, Andy Reid's great off a bye. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. Have to think after a couple-day break, getting back, they went, okay, what do we got to do? We got to figure out something. And I think they completely flip up how they're running the offense because they can do that on a dime. So I'm really intrigued to see how Kansas City looks this week. It's going to be a big kind of what's Kansas City's future look like post this game, because if they come out and play super, super well, they become Super Bowl favorites at the end of the day.
Yeah. And with that, we are going to get into our NFL picks. Real quick, Pickem in NFL. I am 30-17. Nate is 23-17. Brad is 7-18-1. Brad, let's get it going. First pick.
Well, it might be the kiss of death. Chiefs money line.
Wow.
I don't like the number. I think it's going to probably end up being a really, really close game at the end. But like I said, I think the Chiefs come out post bye week, revamp their offense, retool how they're doing things, and get the win at Arrowhead. It's a tough place to play. Eagles are used to it, but I think they're the better football team overall.
Nate?
First pick of the NFL, Jags versus Titans. I got to go with the homer of the century. Give me the Jaguars over the Titans.
My first pick, I didn't go with them last week. I went against them last week. Lions minus 7.5, and I'm going to ride with the Lions the rest of the year. I don't care. That team is so much fun to watch on offense, and I can't pick against Dan Campbell. I can't pick against Dan Campbell.
Speaking of Dan Campbell, he declined the Texas A&M job. They did go to him right away.
That's wild.
Yeah, that is crazy.
We had a conversation about it last pod, and I was telling Luke, I was like, dude, do not be surprised. And like, it's nice that he came out right away and said, yeah, I was interviewed, blah, blah, blah. And he declined it. So
I
expect big bucks. Big bucks at Dan Campbell's doorstep by the Lions next year.
Oh, for sure.
Big bucks.
Absolutely. Have to.
Brad.
My second pick is going to my hometown team. Sam Howell over 34.5 passing attempts. This line is odd to me, and I bet on this last week and won over 36.5. Sam slings the ball now. This offense does not act like Sam Howell is basically a rookie quarterback. If we look at his stats this year, the past 4 games, he has had 42 attempts, 52 attempts, 45 attempts, and 44 attempts. And even in the terrible, awful first Giants game that's ended 7-14, he had 42 pass attempts. We just sling the rock. They don't care that Sam's a second-year player, so 34 seems low. So I'll take the over on 34.5 passing attempts.
Nate, your second pick. Sorry.
I'm going to skip my next game and go just because the flow of the pod. Commies versus the Giants.
Ooh.
For the last what, like 4 or 5 episodes, I have picked against the Giants because they're booty cheeks. And I am picking against the goddamn Giants again. Woo. So give me the Commies with the win. Sam Howell has a day.
-9 or money line?
Why even ask that? I just said they were going to win.
Don't take us.
Why even ask that? I just said they were going to win. I just said they were going to win.
I'm covering my I'm just covering my own ass because I know exactly how this would go. Oh no. Well, I meant -9.
No. Exactly you're the one that confuses this. You're the one that confuses.
I do not.
Confucius.
Anyway, I am going to take Houston -4.5 against the Cardinals. CJ Stroud outduels Kyler Murray. He's on a tear right now. I think he's probably going to win the Rookie of the Year, and he might win the Offensive Player of the Year. He's just that good. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes.
I wonder what the numbers.
There's got to be no probably. Like you have to have him.
Oh, he's a monster favorite for Rookie of the Year. It's not even worth it. I got it early at like +300, and I'm feeling good about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because he's like a minus something right now. He's like -240 or something.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
He's having
I wonder what he is for Offensive Player of the Year. That's a good call.
Offensive Player of the Year for sure. Because I feel like the way he's playing right now, he's playing better than a lot of the quarterbacks in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So give me Texans -4.5. Brad?
My third pick we're going to go to San Francisco, and we're going to take the San Francisco team total over 26.5 against the Bucks. San Francisco's healthy. They got Trent Williams back, and they got Deebo Samuel back. And when I made the bet on against them last week, they didn't have either of those players back. If I had known that, I would not have taken the Jags +3. It's a different team when they are
So
fully
that's
healthy.
why we lost.
Probably. The San Fran team, when they're fully loaded, they are running on a different level, and they're in a different echelon than Tampa Bay. And having those guys back and healthy, I like them to just score a lot of points. We saw CJ Stroud light them up last week, so why can't San Fran do the same?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with the Vikings versus the Broncos. I like sticking with Dobbs, the goddamn astronaut out there, just calling them plays, dishing up dimes and everything. So give me the Vikings with the win. I see you looking, Luke. I see you.
I am also going to take Vikings, but I am going to take them +2.5. I'm not taking the money line. I like I don't like taking outright. +2.5 feels really, really good here. Vikings +2.5 because Josh Dobbs is playing well. He does a lot of things for them. Russ is having a good year, but I think they ultimately lose. Brad.
My fourth pick. I have my numbers wrong. Hold on a second. 2 number 5s. My fourth pick is going to be Vikings Broncos under 42.5. I do think the game is low scoring. So tonight is obviously Bengals Baltimore. That's going to be an awesome game starting here in a few minutes. The unders for night games have been like gangbuster. Like constantly. They've only been, out of all the night games, I think there's been like 3 or 4 go over.
Yeah.
Tonight might be one of them, but I don't think this game's going over 42.5. It's going to be a tight one. So
Agreed.
Under 42.5, we'll ride that again and kind of stick with the trend of night games going under.
Jim.
All right, so Luke, we're gonna get fancy here, and Brad, you're gonna have to help me here.
Love it.
You ready? What is the over rushing touchdowns, or what is the over rushing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts against the Chiefs?
Anytime touchdown. I got you here.
Anytime touchdown. There we go.
Okay.
Anytime rushing touchdown. Let me get you the numbers on that one. I got some of my DeGen things I was looking up a little earlier.
Ooh.
We just added a DeGen bet, by the way.
Here we go.
So another one got added. Jalen Hurts rushing or anytime touchdown. Get that up to +130 at some books. So nice little plus money bet. I do like that. I think like we said earlier, they got that extra play. I do like the +130 for that.
Give me it.
I like that too.
Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown.
Anytime rushing touchdown. Yes, got it.
Yep. Or anytime TD. Yeah, that's what it is.
Anytime TD. Yeah,
anytime TD.
Love it.
I'm gonna go to the Seattle Rams game. Rams are getting Matt Stafford back. They are +1. I like the Rams here. I need Cooper Kupp to have a huge game. So give me the Rams +1. Brad's final pick.
My final pick is Dallas -6.5 for the first half. They were like 10+ point favorites against the Panthers. They are at Carolina. I don't know if that matters. Dallas tends to boat race bad teams and lose to good teams. And I'd rather not take a double digit overall, but there's you could easily see this first half being like 21-7 quickly. So I will take Dallas -6.5 for the first half.
Yeah.
All right, Jim.
You hit it right on the head. With Dallas, like boat race, horrible teams and good teams, they struggle. It's just like, I don't know. That Giants game against the Cowboys last week was horrible.
Right,
anyway,
same exact thought process.
Yeah. Anyway, I am sticking with the Eagles versus the Chiefs. I like the Eagles to pull out a win here. I really do. I think they have a little, unfinished business because of the Super Bowl. I feel like they're going to be a little more focused. Jalen Hurts, you could tell he really wants to get back at the Chiefs just by the way he's carried himself all year. That's some unfinished business. So give me the Eagles, Luke. What do you think? To win the game.
All right. Not so fast. Chiefs -2.5. Love this spot. Love this spot. They play well at home. They've covered, I think, the last 3 home games they've managed to cover. And I will also sprinkle in Kelsey anytime touchdown because, family's there. Taylor's going to be there. Taylor's parents are going to be. He's got to put up a show. I feel like Pat's going to be looking for him in the red zone more often. In that secondary, I feel like it's no, more than he does, more than usual. He did well. If you look at what they did at Miami, he didn't have that many catches. And he only had like 35 yards. True. And the weakness of this Eagles team is their secondary. And I think that this is a chance for maybe the wide receivers to kind of get going against a team that is not great corner safety wise. And I like Kelsey anytime touchdown and Chiefs -2.5. Brad, your picks.
My picks. Chiefs money line is pick number 1. Then we have Sam Howell over 34.5 pass attempts. We got the Niners over 26.5 team total. We got the Vikings Broncos under 42.5. And then we got Dallas -6.5 for the first half against the Panthers.
Jim, your picks.
Whoops. Sorry. I got the Jags winning versus the Titans. I got the Vikings winning versus the Broncos. You asked for this, you asshole.
Sweating.
I got the Commies winning against the Giants. I got Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. And I got the Eagles winning versus the Chiefs.
I swear to God, if I get a text saying, "Oh, I didn't want the money line," I'm gonna
literally. Have I ever
doing it this week just to be nice?
Have I ever though?
I am taking my picks.
I'm gonna do
my
it this
picks
week just
are
to piss you off.
And then I'm just gonna replay the tape. My picks are Lions -7.5, Texans -4.5, Vikings +2.5, Rams +1, Chiefs -2.5, and Kelsey anytime touchdown. That is our slate. Brad, time for everybody's favorite segment.
Oh yeah,
Brad's DeGen Corner.
So as bad as all my other picks have been, DeGen Corner has been fruitful. We won both matchups last week of Akshay Bhatia over Ben Griffin for the tournament and Adam Scott over Brendan Todd. We almost cashed one of those before the cut. Ben Griffin was not going to make the cut. Akshay was up big, and then Ben Griffin went 8 under on Friday to make the cut. But both those won by a pretty good margin. It was a solid outing from those guys. And it was nice to get 2 golf wins on the board early. So we're going to go back to golf for the first DeGen pick. They're currently playing down in Sea Island, Georgia, at the RSM Classic. It's a very, very tough tournament to handicap because they were playing at 3 different courses. So matchups are tough. It rained today. It's a gross tournament, but it's a fun one to watch, and those golf courses are beautiful. My pick, however, and I got on this earlier today, and he finished out his round very solidly, was the young rookie Ludvig Adberg out of Sweden. He was the best player in college golf last year. Made a Ryder Cup team before playing in a major championship, which I don't think it ever happened. He's a young stud. He hits the ball a mile and straight. It's bonkers. And I have him to win at plus 1,200. After today's round, today finished up, Ludvig Adberg, and I think he played a harder course in the rain, is at 5 under, 1 stroke off the lead. So we feel pretty good about that. It'll be a fun weekend to see what Ludvig does. Guy's an absolute flusher of the golf ball. He's going to do big things on the PGA Tour, so hopefully he can pull out his first PGA Tour win this weekend.
There we go.
Then we have 3 more. The first one is they're both for games happening tonight, so we'll know by the time this posted if they hit. Chet Holmgren of Oklahoma City Thunder over 25.5 rebounds, points, and assists. They are playing Golden State tonight. Golden State team without Steph Curry. Golden State is a small ball team. They're also without Draymond Green. They're a small ball team. Chet is a freak of nature. He's well over 7 feet. I think he's going to bang down there, and he might get like 10 rebounds, 10 points, and a couple assists. Like, it seems like a very easy game for him to put up over 25.5. of those combos. So that game tips off at 10 o'clock tonight. So we'll see. We'll know tomorrow if this hit. Then we're flipping to hockey. We're going to go with Connor Bedard over 3.5 shots at plus money. It was plus 100 for that. Connor Bedard was the number 1 pick overall last year.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute stud for the Blackhawks. Kid
Hell
looks
yeah.
like a freak of nature. Looks like the new Sidney Crosby. They're playing the Lightning tonight at home. Home's going to help them a little bit because they're showing up. Blackhawks always have fans anyway.
Chicago fans are ridiculous.
They're crazy anyway. I think you're playing a Lightning team. He's just going to be shooting a ton because they're going to try to hang in this game. That game starts now. So I like him over 3.5 shots. He's scored a bunch already. Looks every part of the first overall pick. And I'll take plus money on him for shots. That's a number that can hit quickly. And then the last one, which we just discussed, is CJ Stroud, Offensive Player of the Year.
So how much are you splitting with us? Since I gave you the idea, Bradley.
So you hit me with this during the pod. And I was like, let me check the odds. What's he look like? CJ Stroud is plus 10,000 to win Offensive Player of the Year. Put a $10 bet on it. That's $1,000 winner if he gets Offensive Player of the Year. When Luke said that, I was like, hold on. Like, maybe. Like, you kind of, like, you start thinking about the wideouts, but a couple of them are hurt. You could get killed by Tyreek getting like over 2,000 yards or Christian McCaffrey just continuing to score an insane amount of touchdowns. But, like, I could see if no quarterbacks look good in the MVP.
Though. Think about it.
No quarterbacks look great for MVP, but they're not going to give MVP to a rookie, right? They're just not going to do that. But I could see them consolation prizing this guy and be like, hey, he was really the best quarterback, Offensive Player of the Year. That's a flyer pick. You just shoot for the moon and hope for the best. But at plus 10,000 for Offensive Player of the Year, I love that. That is a lot of fun. Just see the stress kind of at the end of the season. Like, and they make the playoffs. That's a huge bump to them too, right? Like,
absolutely.
Led him to the playoffs. He's probably not going to throw. He only has 1 pick on the year. Like, if he finishes the year with like 4 picks and like 28 TDs, like,
you almost have to give it to him.
Yeah, I'd rather take a flyer on that than one of the running backs or wide receivers. Like that seems a fun bet to root for. You know, who knows if it'll hit, but that's kind of the fun of those massive long shots. It's like, why not? Maybe we get lucky. So that would be the final one.
That's gonna be it for the pod. So with the holiday season coming up, we are gonna still record on Tuesday. We'll probably record on Wednesday so that we can get things moving. It gives me time to edit it before we go to Thanksgiving. So it'll be kind of like a Thanksgiving episode, at least for Pickem. So we'll have our picks then. Brad, where can the good people follow you?
They can find me at Bread's Toast on Instagram. Still haven't posted in months, but you know, it's food.
Foodies.
It's food stuff.
Jim.
Twitter handle is BigJim4460. Or just follow the Twitter or Gridiron Guys Twitter feed. Yeah. There you go, Luke.
You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Gridiron Guys with 2 Z's. _ in between Gridiron and Guys on Twitter. You can find me at Luke Aked on Twitter. Let's have ourselves a weekend, guys. Go Big Red. Go Skurs, go Commies, go Jags, go Chiefs. And Nate.
It's personal. Go Gators.